What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some Underworld functioning correctly, Age of Mythology, the Titans action. The reason why it's functioning correctly is because we've got Poseidon at the top of the map in the red color playing as Matreiuss. That is the other way around, but Poseidon doesn't have Underworld, so we don't have to worry about it. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Bird, and he calls himself Trash, but he's also known as Yoshii. It is another Odin versus Poseidon game, requested by none other than the Poseidon lover, Antos himself. As we do also see the Great Hunt coming down with the goats. And yet again, another weakness. Well, this is actually an interesting build. You get out an early extra dwarf to get hunting dogs out, but even so, you probably, I mean, maybe this is what he wants, so I guess it makes some sense, but he's still going to be short wood if he wants to build an ox cart for his wood villagers. The one thing you could possibly try is use your dwarf villagers after you get the 100 gold to get yourself, just to move everything off of wood and get yourself the 50 wood that way as a random idea. I think it'll be a little bit slow though. Anyways, Poseidon versus Odin on Savannah, seemingly being one of the more difficult matchups for Poseidon, simply on the fact that it's a very open map, very big map, and Poseidon is going to have to try and match either the Ulfsark or the raiding cavalry of the Odin, and the speed sometimes allows the Odin player to get a lot of the advantage in this matchup. Now, there's a couple of ways you can play around this. Way number one, and possibly the best way to play this matchup currently, would be to go Ares, and you slow down their early game enough such that you can get a huge amount of damage done. However, this map has a very small amount of food, so there's not going to be a whole lot of reason to go for an Ares rush unless you can push him off gold. So there's two sorts of resources you want to go for, the gold mine or the food source. And if you can't hit the food, you have to hit the gold, and right now the gold's incredibly safe, and I don't think you'll be able to do all too much with an Ares rush as we see this. Now, what Matreiuss sees is not a whole lot, and he's about to go in and scout. He doesn't really know how low the hunt of the map this is right now. So he might get fooled into thinking that Ares rush is possible. But maybe not. Who knows? Anyways, we do see the gold mine at the back as well. And this is going to mean he probably wants to go for Hermes. Now, Odin, on the other hand, you probably don't actually have to go Freya every time here with Odin. You can go Heimdall half the time and have a lot of success using an early undermine on the stables to slow down those stables coming up, or whatever military buildings that are coming up with them, because you get your ravens in, you can scout it out, you undermine, you slow them down. Roughly probably the same amount of economic damage as a forest fire, I would say, early. And then you also get access to Safeguard, which is a huge upgrade for the mid game and for the late game and even for the early game, depending on when you actually pick it up and how hard on walls you want to go. So those are some options there for the Odin. Now, Matreiuss is going to be going through Hermes. It's the more quote-unquote safe play. You do get access to... Ooh, we see a little bit of a wall up here, but it's not going to get down in time. Very close there. Little house. Well, we do see the house getting killed. The villagers get pulled off. But Hermes definitely has its own weaknesses in that you don't get a whole lot of extra stuff from it. You just get the ceasefire and maybe spirited charge somewhere along the lines. But that's if you want to go Hippocon into this matchup, as Bird is getting very aggressive here. He's pushed off wood, he's pushed off food, but Poseidon doesn't care. He has that food in his home base from his lure. I would say that I'm not fully sure why Matreiuss is so late to the second age. We see Longhouse up on this location here. I actually think the forest firing this back would be really strong here, and then Bird could go for a wood starve here, which could be very difficult to survive, as Matreiuss is 25 population, Bird is 34 population. A little bit of housing crisis going on, as the Valkyrie does come in and will actually pick off that centaur with a 0.5 speed advantage. We'll actually catch that one up and then pick it off. The other option is to try and throw down some some building blocks here onto these villages and actually get a villager kill with the forest fire. We do see the villagers shanking away at this Ulfsark here, and we do see one dead villager, and the Ulfsark does manage to live, as does the Centaur here, 8 HP somehow, some way. As Matreiuss is in the chat saying 4:30 is not late. I mean, it's late. It's late. 4:30 is late. This is the new meta. It's the new age we live in. You should be advancing at 4 minutes or 4:15 against Norse if you want to defend these early rushes better. That's my opinion. But Bird's got to figure out a way to actually make this game flow and actually finish off this. Just Forest Fire this, and then Woodstarve is the best option I can see right now, because there's no tower on this. There is no tower on this, and it's going to be really, really hard for Matreiuss to get any wood income out, and then you can just go pure Ulfsark and live the dream, because there's not going to be any way to stop that, essentially, after you see the double stables. But we'll see if Bird can make that assessment there, as Matreiuss has got a lot of resources in the bank, a lot of idle time, everything else. Epicon getting pulled back by Matreiuss. Doesn't want to lose too many units just yet. But right now, Yoshii, Bird, he's got all the advantage here. He's still trying to kill off these villagers back here. But every single time, these villagers are just going to pull into the sentry tower. So right now, Bird is just worried that the forest fire is going to give to militia, which isn't the biggest of deals if you can continue to go to Woodstarve, which is something that you don't normally go for, you can't normally go for, but in this situation it's definitely possible. And we'll see if Matreiuss can get any raids happening at any point soon. And there goes the watchtowers. Matreiuss is a little bit panicky, and now Bird is going to have to either pull back or sacrifice some units trying to get some real damage done here. As we do see over here, one Hippocon might be losing its life, but it does get pulled back in time, keeping him alive. Still going to have that HP problem there, though. And now, this is a pretty aggressive villager move. It's only 4 villagers onto the forward zebra, taking them away from Matreiuss is very, very smart. We still see a whole bunch of those herdables in the base, and the villagers have been pulled off of wood here, as Bird is probably going to try and get to the next stage. I don't think he's got an armory, though. He doesn't quite have the wood to build said armory, so maybe he's just going to go full onto food here and try and go for a bit of an all-in with just food-based units, pulling everything off wood. Does he have husbandry? No husbandry is a big, big mistake here as well. Villager's going to be returning back over onto the wood as well, so you might notice that. And we see the Hippocon getting pulled away. And over here, random raiding cavalry just hanging out. Do we see crenellations? No crenellations just yet from Matreiuss. And Bird gets out of there. No real problems, but he does have his Valkyrie very, very injured, and Matreiuss doesn't really have a shot right now to push out, but he's going to attack. He's actually 70 population, surprisingly, so he does actually have an advantage here in a way. But if Bird micros correctly and just ignores the heroes, as long as you do all your DPS onto the actual human units and not the heroes, you can win these fights at this stage of the game at equal population. As you do see the raiding cavalry coming in a little bit early. We do have a forest here. Imagine forest fire. Just saying. You could imagine it hard, but no. Matreiuss is being a little bit careful. The garrison there to get himself his medium cavalry. Trying to hit a timing on the way out. It's not a bad try, but I imagine Bird's got to be thinking about his own medium cavalry at this point. After you get a certain amount, it starts being worth it. So if you think about medium cavalry as kind of +1 cavalry when you have 10, then you should get it at about 10 cavalry, I would say. It costs a little bit more than 1 cavalry, but it also gives you a lot more damage. I don't know. It's a weird one. But you should probably about 10 cavalry seems like a good number. Which is roughly what Matreiuss has got him at. Maybe a little bit over that. 15. Kind of getting yourself 1.5 cavalry. Resources start making a lot more sense. And now Hippocon are going to be looking for raids. And the big problem for Bird, he's got no gold and he is moving to this gold mine. And Matreiuss' spidey senses tingle so hard. And honestly, his scouting is so bad, but he has found this gold mine. Missing a potential gold mine over here, here. And the dwarves make their way over here. Matreiuss' sixth sense comes in clutch here as he's going to start picking off those dwarves. We'll see, can Bird return the favor is basically the big question. It's the dwarves pulling back. And wow. The actual gold mine distribution on this map is awful for Bird. Every gold mine seemingly looking like it's kind of on the top side of the map, I guess. That's kind of equal. It's kind of equal. There's only one good gold mine, essentially. So you see the ox cart get taken out. These dwarves might turn around and start shanking a little bit. We do see the raiding cavalry coming back in. A couple more dwarves will get picked off on the front. We did see a big fight that unfortunately I missed there. That's life. Now these Hippocon will start losing their lives. They do have the speed disadvantage, so running away is really, really bad. It's another reason why Odin has got the advantage in this one, because if you do go Hippocon, your opponent's raiding cavalry will be able to chase down your Hippocon and get more kills or more damage done. We see another cheeky fight over here as those heroes are getting the damage done to the Valkyrie, but everyone else is kind of fighting the wrong thing. Villagers coming in to help out as Bird does have to pull back 88 population to 84 population here. So still very, very close. We are seeing these villagers going to start taking down buildings. It's actually a really, really good idea for Matreiuss because he doesn't have the... was like basically just kind of getting free resources in damage done with your villagers in a weird way. Like if these villagers take less than 10 seconds to kill that house, they kind of pay for themselves by the damage that they would have, that your opponent has to replace the thing with. If that makes sense. Thundering Hooves is in for Bird, and still no Spirited Charge from Matreiuss. There is room for Forest Fire here. Big Forest Fire right now. Forest Fire. No. Still no. Oh, he used it. What did he use it on? This forest. Why this forest? Imagine Forest Fire right here, right now. Or right here at the start of the game. Either one. Either one would have been good. This one here makes no sense. Villagers taking houses down. It's actually really smart by Matreiuss. I wonder if he's done the math on that or he just kind of does it in the moment. But 4 villagers to take down a house makes a whole lot of sense. Raiding cavalry coming in to snipe down the Theseus. Going to be getting onto these gold villages. There is no ceasefire. Oh, there is a ceasefire remaining, so Matreiuss can click that if he wants. And as the farms come up, it's probably not that bad of an idea to do that. But he does probably want to save his ceasefire for Frost, I would guess. Now, Yoshii, on the other hand, having to farm right now is actually really, really bad. Generally speaking, in maps where you're going to run out of food, it's better to orientate your strategy around a semi-fast heroic as Norse and some other civilizations as well than to go for a super hard classical fight because especially against Greek here as Norse, the Greek is going to come out on top in these classical fights, and it's going to be a prolonged classical fight. So you're going to have, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get that advantage there, and you're not going to be able to get to the next age. Neither will the Greek player. So it comes down to a little bit of orientate your strategy around semi-fast heroic to get to the heroic age to make an advantage there, rather than full on send in the classical age most of the time. Now Hippocon getting pulled back. Raiding cavalry getting a whole bunch of damage done. Third, 103 population. Matreiuss 106 population. Still very, very close. Still do not... Oh, we do have the Spirited Charge coming in for Matreiuss as well. Just going to get that damage done. We don't see any extra upgrades, except we do have the Tusk of the Iron Boar, which I did indeed miss, which does tilt the favor of these fights even harder into Matreiuss's favor. There's more Hippocon getting sniped here from Yoshii as he is trying to make his way in. There is some chance for Bird to spam a whole bunch of Valkyrie here, but it's just looking like it's just simply going to be raiding cavalry or bust. Should have killed the temple early before the watchtowers are up. And one thing Matreiuss could consider doing here is just send one or two cavalry over here to try and snipe those ox carts and be annoying, or snipe some citizens, some villagers down there as well. But as this is going on, Bird's houses are in the middle of nowhere and are getting taken down because of it. This is kind of why you should send, once you build that temple at the front, you probably should send the Ulfsark back home and build houses at home with it, and just have one house builder getting all your houses at home, so that there's not these big value targets for the Hippocon to hit. Because you don't really mind if the longhouses are killed, but you do mind if the houses are killed. So we do see a wall. What are these farms here? I mean, it's a thing of beauty. There needs to be a granary here. It is a thing of beauty, but kind of a thing of beauty. It's a bit of a mess. One day we're going to see perfect farms from a top player. One day. Now Bird retreating back. And Hippocons are going to town in this fight here. Gonna have it's gonna go in the favor of the Hippocon here. They've got the extra HP. Unless you see Copper Mail come through here for Bird, he's not gonna be able to win this fight. Because Copper Mail would equalize the HP difference. But then obviously Matreiuss could get his own. Which does beg the question as to maybe we should be touching up on these relics. Maybe a plus 5% instead of 10% on those relics might be a little bit more fair. And Matreiuss is essentially just full send here. He's getting close to the next age as well. Bird, on the other hand, is definitely struggling for gold. He's got 21 villages on gold here. He needs more farms. And essentially, he's going to be stuck here in the classical age for ages. And he's going to have an excess of gold as well. He could take villages off and dwarves off of gold. He's got a zebra here he can eat. That's nice. See how he's going to go there. Now Bird, it's 80 pop, and Matreiuss is going to very, very swiftly aim for this gold mine. Because he knows it's there. He knows it's the only gold mine he has to worry about. And not only that, he's moving forward and kind of taking the second-ish gold mine or I guess third gold mine if you consider the home gold mine the first one. The second-ish gold mine of Bird. As these Hippocon are going to be making their way around here. A couple of them are falling, though, as they're pushing forward. Still picking off more houses here. Do you see this raider getting taken down? The Bird's defending well so far. He's just oh, we got Aphrodite coming. This is going to be brutal. Gets the ability to change into Prodromus. Has the Nemean Lions as well coming out. And not only that, the Curse. And Bird is not close. Also short a house somewhere as well. That he's trying to get up right on the front here. And a whole bunch of these long houses have got idle. Okay, so you've got idle raiding cavalry. So one thing you can do is select all your longhouses. If you've got the ungarrisoned hotkey, you put them under a control group, and you click the control group, and you hit G, and they'll all come out at once instead of having to click one at a time. Little bit of a thing there. Trick, as we're seeing the raid coming over here, the villagers turning around, going to be shanking back. They're going to get dealt with. Curse did get thrown down. The fight going slightly in the favor of Bird here, but the Nemean Lion is going to come in, get some good damage done. Some more units falling on the front here. We need some more of those Prodromus in as the Raiders up, found these villagers kind of in the middle of the map here, even with this wall. Could run the villagers through here, make a gate, and be fine. But Bird has managed to equalize a little bit on population. Matreiuss, 90 population. He's getting himself heavy cavalry. They're going to completely crush through those Raiders. And in that moment, Bird does decide to tap out. I mean, there's so many options here for Bird to kind of get an advantage. Option number one, which I think was the most strong, was a forest fire on this back forest here to cut this one off, and then simply just raiding on the wood lines for the entirety of the game, and potentially trying to snipe this tower down as well. If he snipes this tower down, this wood line is non-choppable, this wood line is non-choppable, and then he could get a wood star. The other one was a forest fire on this location here when the second gold mine was under attack. Would have really helped with that fight, and he probably could have won there, but Matreiuss managed to get away with it. He did get a big relic to help him along here in this game with Tusk of the Iron Boar, but I do think that if you're advancing at 430, and let's see what he actually got up at, 439, so he got out Theseus as well in the Archaic Age. If you're advancing this late, it gives the Odin player all the advantage in this matchup to kind of just slap you around, and you don't get any point in the early game where you should be getting an advantage. So gotta get that advance time coming out faster if you want to survive the early onslaught and not have like these weak points in your potential for weaknesses in your base. But Bird does not manage to make it happen. Matreiuss did manage to survive this one, and he gets the dub. Poseidon feeling strong. GG, well played.